What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I've got my last lead qualifying comp before divisionals and it's at my home gym, so let's get right on into it. Alright, so I started off on this one here. I believe it was number 17 and it was red, white, and blue because for this one I'm pretty sure they used it later for the women's finals for the community comp that they were hosting. And yeah, the red part started out pretty chill, bunch of big holds, some nice jugs. Going up into the white section is when it starts to get a little bit more physical. You got some worse holds, some worse slopers, some small crimps, but it's still pretty chill. The moves also start to get a bit bigger. And then you get up into this blue section here and it starts to get a bit more physical. The moves start to get even bigger, some even worse holds, and yeah, the top was definitely the hardest part of this route, I think. You had this like kind of hard jug pulling part up at the top, and then the last move was like a little sketchy to kind of freak you out at the top, but still managed to get it done. I then moved on to number 18, which had this fun running start, and this one had like 4 no-tex holds on it, I think. So, and plus it was on like, I think it was fully vert, so pretty techie climb. And then you get up into this part right here with this big cheetah sloper, and then another one for the foot, and you had to go really slow here because the foot was like in a weird position and the hand wasn't that great, so you had to get the foot positioned just right. Getting up into the no-tex holds, since no-tex holds are better without chalk on, it was kind of a good thing that it was like super hot in the gym because my hands were just sweating so much because of how hot it was, so I just had to kind of like wipe them off on my shorts to make them kind of sticky, and then the no-tex holds are pretty good. And then the last couple of moves are pretty easy on some nice big holds. Alright, and then I moved on to number 19, which was the men's finals for that community comp, and I was the first one on this one, so I didn't have like a full understanding of the beta, and my brain was just like not working this day. Like I could not read a climb to save my life. I could just like kind of read it. And then here's the part where my brain just kind of stopped working. I couldn't figure out a sequence of what to do, and it's like I just couldn't think on the wall. I tried to go for a hand jam there because that's originally what I had kind of read, but I don't know, I just couldn't read this section from the ground and I was super confused. Bruh. Alright, next attempt I had watched someone climb, so I need to get this left heel hook up, which I don't know how I didn't think of when I got on it the first time. And then I think this move right here to the crimp was probably one of the hardest moves on the climb actually, because it's pretty big and the hold was pretty decent, but it was still a pretty hard move. And then going into the green super hold section, it was pretty techie, so it wasn't like too powerful or anything, but a techie climb on a day where your brain isn't working isn't a good climb to be on. So I just got like super confused, and yeah, I don't know why my brain was not working this day. But the next attempt, I knew a little bit more of the beta, but still my brain just was not working, and I was kind of getting scared at the top a little, I think, which is not good for being scared at the top of a lead route. I tried to go for this high left foot, and I stuck it at first, and then it popped, and then I just couldn't get it back up, and I just came right off. But I finally knew I had all the beta dialed in, so I just had to put it all together, and here's how I did it. And I feel like my brain kind of woke up a little bit on this attempt. I feel like I was able to, stay calm, knew that I was going to send it, and yeah, I was able to think a little bit on this climb finally. Now on to number 20, the hardest climb of the comp. This thing looked super hard from the ground and had this cool like mantle start. And then I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's this little small crimp here that's like upside down that you have to like upside down Gaston on it, and it's like kind of weird to pull on. And since it's at like such a weird angle, the move to the big macro is kind of hard. And then this is kind of where I messed up and my brain turned back off, because I should have swapped my hands here, which is how you actually do the move, but I don't know why I couldn't realize it in the moment. And then this time I finally got the beta right, have my right hand on the lower crimp, which is the right beta, and then you have to get your left foot up onto the top of the textured part of the macro, and then you can go up left hand to the macro. And you can get a heel hook there and get some energy back. Although I didn't feel like I was very tired once I got here, because the start of the climb was pretty much just a lot of technique. But then after that, it gets into this like super physical section with a bunch of small crimps and like some hard clipping positions. And you get this like high right foot, and you have to go to the pocket, which is it's a huge move, and I went for it and my foot just slipped right as I hit the pocket, so I didn't get it good enough. And then on my third attempt, I don't know why, but I just like my brain turned off again and I flipped the right hand the wrong way, and I was so confused like why it didn't work. And then after I realized, I was like, oh, I just did it wrong again. And after that I ran out of time, but you know, still managed to win the comp. I was competing against 2 other people, and yeah, still won. But after a rest day, I came back and yeah, I sent the climb. So this is my second attempt of the day, so I'll just let it play. Honestly, I think this might be one of the hardest routes that I've ever sent, if not the hardest route that I've ever sent. And yeah, I'm really happy that I was able to get it on my 5th go, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe.